Welcome to another edition of the BPC Corporate Showcase. My name is Jack Colreevy, Associate Director at Barclay Pearce Capital. And today my guest is Jonathan Kelly, a fintech specialist who's the future Chief Revenue Officer at Ovanti Limited. Thanks for coming in, John. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, mate.
You've got a very diverse background. You're American living in Australia and you've helped pioneer buy now, pay later, very early to the scene there. Mm-hmm. Do you want to just take me through your journey getting to that point?
Yeah, no worries. As an American, I played rugby. So that's what brought me to this side of the world. Moved to New Zealand after I graduated from university to play. And I was lucky enough then after I got there, it was supposed to be 6 months, turned into 2 years. The company I was with at the time when I was in New Zealand transferred me to Australia. Got to Sydney. Why would you ever leave? And I've been here ever since.
Smart choice.
I don't know if I pioneered, but I was definitely in buy now, pay later from very early days. Originally kind of started out my journey within fintech working at PayPal. I was at PayPal way back when it was probably about 26 people that worked in the Sydney office. So early days, but an amazing ride, an amazing journey. Was there for around 7 years. And so a plethora of products come through and obviously everybody knows the PayPal story now. We don't need to go into incredibly successful. Around that probably 2015, 2016 mark, you could see the green shoots of buy now, pay later coming through with what Afterpay and what Zip are doing. Took a leap of faith after Zip had just went public. Went over to join Larry and Pete, the founders, to work at Zip. An amazing time again, working there. At that time, Zip was trying to disrupt, and well, they did disrupt, but the long-term interest-free market that you might see like a Harvey Norman. But then also pivoted when we created a payment product, which a lot of us understand today, which is Zip Pay. By the time I left, I think they had over 200 staff. So it was really very well on its way.
How many were there when you were first there?
Probably 10.
Yeah. Wow. 10, so you're really early days.
Yeah. Very early days. Everything just drawn up on a whiteboard and did devs working on stuff instantly as you're kind of talking to them. It was too startup.
Yeah. It would have been an exciting time. I'm sure you've got a ton of stories, but we'll have to get to that another time. Zip share price has done extraordinarily well over the last year or so, due primarily to finally cracking that US market. So the US market, the buy now, pay later is now about 133 billion, which is massive, but it's still growing aggressively. Where do you see the future in buy now, pay later in that country? Yeah.
So I think at the end of the day, traditional players are already there, and they're fighting head to head with what I'd consider kind of like the old school buy now, pay later model, which would be trying to get it on a merchant site and trying to acquire new online customers. I think you need to find specific verticals which you can target, and then try to pivot those verticals into experiences within the Ovanti app where that customer then can be issued a card. And my kind of vision would be is that then that card would be persistent, means that you could use it anywhere. And so you could use it across any vertical, any place that you want it to go. So that's probably where I see it going. Obviously working really hard with the team right now. There's a million things to kind of figure out. Yeah. But that's kind of the direction that I see it going. And I think we could be very successful.
So you're talking about a perpetual card. Can you just sort of establish what the norm is at the moment?
Yeah. What usually happens at the moment right now is that it's either closed loop. Closed loop means that you go onto a website. If you hit Afterpay, you're redirected to Afterpay's website and you can pay. But then if I walk down to the corner shop to buy my groceries, Afterpay is not available, right? So by putting a perpetual card or a persistent card in, which is scheme based, so it's either MasterCard, Visa, Discover in the US or Amex, effectively you can use it anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
So then you can tap it anywhere. So we did some of this work when I was actually at home. We launched a couple of products that did it. Extremely successful in relation to consumer engagement. So as an example, the average buy now, pay later customer, if you're Afterpay or Zip, probably uses it 2, 3, 4, 5 times in a month. When we actually went into with that proof of concept in that product, our customers are using it 15 times a month. Yeah. So it's just a different way of looking at it. And I think as markets shift and they become more perceptive to what buy now, pay later is as a tool, you'll see it being used in more and more places and in areas to expand in.
America is such a different place to Australia. Can you just sort of touch on some of the similarities between buy now, pay later customers there?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the interesting thing that I looked at when I see similarities between the two markets, currently right now around 54 to 57% of Aussies that have credit cards are rolling every month.
Yeah.
So they're actually not paying off in full. I know everybody seems to think that everybody does pay off in full, but the data doesn't suggest that.
Yeah. And that's huge interest rates they got to pay on that.
100%. You're paying over $1,000 a month in interest on $4,000 to $5,000, right?
Yeah.
That's rolling over. And what you see then is in the US, you have similar type models. Around 52% of Yankees are actually rolling as well. They're actually doing the same things happening. So I think the opportunity within both markets and why buy now, pay later was so successful in Australia and will be just as successful in the US is customers want a better, fair way to pay than traditional interest rate credit cards. And they're looking for tools or companies that are going to give them those. Oftentimes people think that customers don't want to pay fees. No one wants to pay fees, but they're okay to pay fees if they understand them. And I think customers oftentimes just don't understand compound interest. But if you just tell them it's a flat fee or it's a subscription fee, customers are fine with that as long as you get the product that you gives them enough utility where they want to use it.
Yeah. So moving away from that interest model to a fee based.
Usually.
Yeah. And so you're coming on board as the Chief Revenue Officer of Ovanti Limited. What are the plans there? What's getting you excited? Is it sort of touching on that perpetual type card?
Yeah, I think so. There's a couple of things that are exciting. Number one is kind of an amazing team that they put together. So I've met some of the other people, very, very intelligent and really looking forward to getting their hands dirty and getting into it. On top of that, I think you're getting to build from scratch. And anytime you build, having been in product for so many years, if you got to deal with legacy systems, you're constantly going backwards. So you get kind of a white sheet of paper. So that build and the speed to market when you're building from something new can be incredibly quick once you decide to start going. So really excited about building from scratch, building something new. Working with the team, but then probably looking at some core tenets that you always make sure you have to have is a great customer experience. It has to be a really, really seamless app and sign up process. Probably some form of budgeting tools that you're going to have within the app, and then preferably probably going to be either a persistent card that you can hopefully use anywhere. And I think that's really exciting.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think it sounds extremely exciting. And like you mentioned, and I would include you in this group, like the team that Ovanti are putting together is top notch. And I think the world's their oyster. So good luck with the year ahead.
Thanks, Jim.
We'll be rooting for you. For more information on Ovanti Limited, please subscribe to the Chairman's List by clicking the link in the description.